I'm Nikki North. I've worked at Thames Water for the past 6 months, but I've been working in RPA specifically with Blue Prism for around 15 years, I think we're up to now. So my experience has been specific with Blue Prism and predates the term RPA. I've been around while we sort of helped as one of the foundation customers for Blue Prism, setting up the methodology, setting up some of the documentation, and I think I've probably made every mistake that anyone can make in RPA, and people are still making today, to be fair. And I've worked in all the different disciplines in a centre of excellence as well, from testing, analyst, developing, and then sort of leading the service and head off, and even running control room back in the very, very old days. Now my role, I'm working at Thames Water as an RPA lead for customer improvement, so pulling together all the plans and the pipeline, and supporting the digital team with setting up their centre of excellence as a delivery capability. One of the things I've tried to focus most on this year is what I'm calling being brave, and saying yes to things that normally I would kind of put off or say no to. And I think just having that bravery to put yourself out there and think, well, yes, no one might read something that I've published, no one might watch a video, no one might like a video that I do, or no one might enjoy listening to a podcast or a webinar that I do. But you kind of don't know that people aren't going to enjoy it unless you do it. And I think I've always been a bit of a self-saboteur in that sense, that I've always just assumed no one will be interested, so I've not even done anything, because I don't think anyone will want to listen to anything I've got to say, or that anyone would find much value in it. So I think one of the main things I've been doing is being brave, putting myself out there, and just saying yes to things that would have maybe scared me a little bit. I think one of the things that's happened a lot over the past 12 months is obviously having to work from home. We've moved on to video calls, and I've never been someone who's very comfortable listening to their own voice or looking at themselves on screen. It's not something that I'm super comfortable with. But having made a deal with myself at the start of all this to just turn my camera on, get up. Part of it was motivating me to get out of bed properly and, get showered and dressed ready for the calls. But part of it was about being able to get more comfortable seeing myself and looking at myself, because you don't often watch yourself talking when you're in a meeting, but on a Teams meeting, that's where your eye gets drawn. So I think that's helped, with my confidence a lot as well, is just make sure you turn that camera on. And I'm one of the annoying people in my team meetings where I'm the one who comes on with camera and everyone begrudgingly comes off it because they feel like they can't stay off camera when there's someone on. So that's something that I've tried to make sure I've committed to over the past 12 months, and I think that's helped a lot. It's difficult because it's kind of like you say, oh, be brave and have confidence, but it's where do you find the courage to do that from? And sometimes it's just about small steps. Maybe it's about baby steps, and just so maybe you wouldn't feel confident doing a webinar, but you could participate in something like a podcast because it's off screen, and all those sorts of different things. So yeah, maybe it would be about trying to find your strengths as well. What are the things that you're good at doing, and then what are the things that you're not so good at doing, and how can you mix a couple of them together to give yourself a little bit more confidence. And I think learning as well, because if you've not got anything to say, then yeah, no one is going to listen. But if you learn and you absorb things and you build up that knowledge, that's what gives you the sort of confidence to speak out, because you kind of feel like you've got something to say. I think a lot of people have got something to say about RPA at the minute. I think what's great about RPA specifically for women is there's always been I think I've seen loads of research. I'm sure other people have seen it before, knowing that when men apply for a job, they look at it and think, oh, I could do 60% of that, so I'll just apply for it. Whereas women look at every single thing, and if they can't do one of the things on a job, they won't go for it. And so I think because RPA is a mix between traditional IT and sort of business-led software development, it breaks down some of that barrier of women thinking because they don't have a computer sciences degree, or they've not had a very specific IT degree, or they might have been out of work while they were raising children, and they're coming back to the workplace a bit later on when they were younger. I know when I was at school, we didn't all use computers for our GCSEs and things like that. So I think that barrier's broken down, because you don't need to understand code and do all those different things even to be a developer. It's much more about logic. It's about understanding. I almost think it's a little bit about being good at customer service. And if you bear with me, what I mean by that is, as a developer or someone who's delivering RPA, you're thinking about all the different customers that you're building your process for. So it's either the process owner that you're building your process for, it's the customers that are the actual direct recipients of the process, whether it's someone who's moving house or whatever, are wanting to pay their water bill, whatever our customers are doing. But it's also about thinking about the control room, who are going to look after the processes and how it's going to be managed for them. And some of the better developers I've ever seen have been focused more on design than the sort of technical wizardry of whatever they might be doing. It's how it fits as a process and how it serves all of our customers. And so I think women particularly have got a better skill at thinking about things in that sort of different way, rather than just looking at, this is a PDD, 10 steps, replicate the 10 steps. There's got to be a bit more thought around it, and that's what makes great processes and stable processes and things that sort of stand the test of time.